This morning, the NHL is closed for business. Players in the National Hockey League are locked out after failing to reach a new labor contract. Despite midnight's looming deadline, neither side even met face-to-face yesterday. The whole dispute, of course, is centered around money. There's $3.3 billion in revenue, and the owners and unions disagree on how to use that money. This is the fourth shutdown for the NHL since 1992.
It is kind of weird. I think even that we've been talking about it for a while now. It's almost like the photo shoot you do after a season. That's how it feels. Everyone packed their stuff up and we have to go somewhere else.
It's disappointing. It's frustrating. I think all the players feel like we want to play, but we want to play when we can make a fair deal that works for both sides. And unfortunately, it looks like we're quite a bit away from that right now.
We've had 7 years of incredible competitive balance. 29 clubs have made the playoffs. We've had 7 different Stanley Cup champions. The game on the ice has never been better. That's a function of this system. The system as originally negotiated, in our view, needs some adjustments. And if it turned out to be too rich a deal for the first 7 years, we lived with it, but I'm not going to apologize for saying, you know what, we need to adjust it.
The NHL is the third pro sport to impose a lockout in the last 18 months, behind the NFL and the NBA. And the NHL lockout will obviously disappoint many fans who've been counting down to the start of the season.
But it's not just fans. Depending on how long it goes, the lockout could also start to affect local businesses and even force layoffs. 7 Action News reporter Smitha Kaloki has more on the reaction to what is now official lockout. Smitha, good morning.
Well, you know, Malcolm, right now they're saying that it's still pretty early. Both businesses and fans are trying to keep the faith. They're hopeful that all of this gets resolved before we even have to start thinking about canceling the season. Mike George spends his weekends watching his son skate during a preseason game for high school hockey. But their other bonding time, watching the pros on TV, might be cut short by the NHL league officials.
Them being active in their own leagues and their own sports, I don't think it's affected them. You know, maybe come middle of winter when they're looking to watch a game, that's when it will.
Like many fans, George is optimistic the two sides will come together sooner rather than later.
You know, as we get more into the regular season, I'm sure it'll be a big downer if it doesn't happen.
Owners and players can't agree over money, and if they don't come to terms soon, it's young players like Jackson LeBlanc, who watch the pros for inspiration, that will take it the hardest.
You know, I watch them to improve my playing.
Now again, there is some time to get this resolved. The actual season starts on October 11th, so everybody here is just hoping that we can figure this out quickly. Now we should mention, though, that even when the last lockout canceled the entire season, fans weren't too discouraged. In fact, the attendance was up when the season returned the next time, so that's good news for fans and, of course, for businesses. Reporting live, Smitha Kaloki, 7 Action News.
Thank you, Smitha. Now, it may be hard for you to wrap your mind around why the two sides can't come to some sort of agreement. So right now, 7 Action News reporter Brad Galley, he joins us now on the phone this morning to help break it all down for us. Brad, good morning, and thanks for waking up with us.
Good morning to you guys. Yeah, I hope to play, I guess, the bridge between the layman and I guess the NHL, and to try to help make sense of this all, if there is room to make sense of a bunch of people fighting over $3.3 billion.
That is a lot of money. Why does this seem to keep happening? I mean, it just happened, what, 9 years ago?
Yeah, just about 7 years ago, 2005, when they finally put the deal together. I think that the feel on the inside, and that became very public on the outside, was that neither side was truly happy with how this last deal kind of panned out. And, you know, the players got 57% of the pie, and that was a good number for the players, and immediately the owners said that's too much. And if you look at the deal that cut into the NBA season last year, the NBA players kind of set a bad example for the NHL players, and for players in other leagues, they dropped their percentage down to 50% of the pie. So now the NHL owners are saying, well, hey, the NBA did this. They cut nail and need half the pie. Why do you guys need 57%? So now that's the battle the NHL is trying to fight, is looking at what the NBA said and trying to combat that.
And, of course, a lot of Michigan fans, or hockey fans in general, look forward to the Winter Classic. But this year it's going to be in Metro Detroit. Does that change anything? I mean, what's at stake here?
It's a huge, big money day for the league, for obviously local businesses like Smitha was talking about. But if anything, it's a chance to showcase the league, and on a day where it's, January 1st is basically for college football. Well, now people kind of circle it just a little bit with for the NHL and that kind of sneaking in. So that's something the NHL is trying to avoid missing. I mean, that's a date that kind of leaked out as saying, hey, this is a must-have. We need to get done by then. And there have been certain dates thrown around December 1st, November 20th. From the people I've talked to, people that we know, in the league, it's definitely something the league does not want to miss out on. So that's, I guess, a sticking point that fans can at least turn to and say, well, we hope we can have this. It'll be interesting to see how close they get to risking that.
Yeah, Brad, thank you very much for your time, sir, breaking that all down. We look forward to hearing more from you about this issue in later editions of 7 Action News. Thanks again.
Thanks, guys.